Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about how Rosanna Pansino is calling out Mr. Beast. Wait, what? What? Um, Editing me, is this the correct title of the video? And this isn't like some weird clickbait or like something I'm just making up for views? Okay, I guess we are talking about Rosanna Pansino calling out Mr. Beast.
This is the largest stadium in the world, and inside are the 10 biggest creators on YouTube.
This is $1 million, and whichever one of them I find last keeps it. Yeah! I'm gonna count to 100. Go high. 1. See you later, everybody. 3.
Okay, this is for $1 million.
6. Hey, Mark, good luck. Thank you.
This stadium can hold 100,000 people and has 1 million places to hide.
51, 52. Do I really have to count to 100?
We need more time, Jimmy.
3, 2, 1.
The whole thing is just was it's hard. It was even hard for me when I was like, oh, wait a minute, I have those clips, because I totally forgot about those clips that I had, because I had to vlog on my phone, and it was so hard for me to just even watch those because I was so happy. Like, I was so happy to be there, and I was just like glowing, and I was so proud of myself. And then to watch it now, it just, because I just don't feel that way anymore, and it just kind of ruined it for me.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Yes, I returned to your phone, your computer, your TV, your tablet, your laptop. I don't know what you are watching me on right now, but welcome back. It's me, it's Malcolm, and today I am very confused about how we got here, but we are here. You clicked the video, so you're probably confused as well. I have a lot of questions. I took a lot of notes because, once again, I just am very confused. But for those that are lost, I will try to build a timeline so we can all follow together. So we are indeed talking about Rosanna Pansino. And for those who do not know who Rosanna Pansino is, she is a YouTuber with over 10 million subscribers as of me filming today. And her content is usually focused around cooking videos, lifestyle videos. I can't read today, and DIYs. She also hosted an HBO Max show in 2021 called Baketopia. And who is Mr. Beast? I think it kind of goes without saying, if you don't know who Mr. Beast is, I don't know how you have been on YouTube so long and not even heard about this guy. But for those that don't know, I was kind of introduced to Mr. Beast when the sub to PewDiePie boom was happening. If for those that don't remember, the whole PewDiePie versus T-Series thing for racing to 100 million subscribers, that was a whole thing. Mr. Beast was one of the creators that was really pushing that, so PewDiePie could win. And of course, we know now that PewDiePie did not win that race. T-Series eventually took over. So that's where I knew Mr. Beast from. But Mr. Beast actually has done a lot of really viral videos, and of course, amassing over 200 million subscribers today. I have to applaud that, actually. I can't really hate on that. He is most known for challenges where people can win money. He also did the biggest Squid Game video on YouTube of all time, where he kind of built a replica set. He did the exact games from the famous Netflix show. The only difference is when people were eliminated, they got to go home. This rise to 200 million subs hasn't come without critique. Most recently, I think it was Jacksepticeye pretty much said that Mr. Beast ruined YouTube. That situation was quickly resolved as both sides were kind of talking it out and seemingly have made peace. Why are we here? A few days ago, Rosanna posted a Twitter post that she was going to appear on Trisha Paytas' podcast to talk about some things that she's never talked about before. I know Trisha Paytas is a polarizing figure, and I could make several videos about all the problematic things that she has never addressed, but it seems that since the Frenemies podcast breakup from H3 Productions and the very recent drama with Colleen Ballinger, and that podcast blowing up as well, fans seem to really love Trisha's podcast as it is now. This entire podcast is over 2 hours long, so if you want to watch the whole episode, feel free. But basically, in this podcast, Rosanna talks about how a few years ago she was in a MrBeast video featuring the Creator Games. From what I understand, this is the third installment of the Creator Games, and the grand prize at the end was $1 million to give back to your community. Rosanna was in the top 10 of creators for this competition. And in the grand finale, the creators played a giant game of hide and seek. And this was at the SoFi football stadium in California, which is fairly new at the time of when that video was recorded. And it's a very, very big stadium if you have ever seen it on TV. From what I also understand, this game of hide and seek wasn't quick. In fact, this game lasted hours, and apparently the game lasted 26 hours. So that is 26 hours of footage and content basically scrunched down into 12 minutes of video, which in hindsight is very insane to think about, where you're going through hours upon hours of footage and creating 12 minutes out of that. That just blows my mind how far YouTube has come with, like these kind of productions, because this was a YouTube Originals production, which apparently means YouTube did have a hand in this. And you can actually see how physically exhausted everyone is that lasted till the end of the video. Apparently, some of the creators kind of like gave up and just kind of went home, which honestly doesn't surprise me, because after 8 hours, I probably would have given up, because it's kind of like, all right, clearly these people want it way more than me. I am exhausted. I have to go to bed. That $1 million to give back to the community, I can see why a lot of people really tried. We're going to get to trying fairly, by the way. We're going to get to that. When the video was done, Zach King, who's like a really good illusionist kind of content creator, he does a lot of illusion videos. You've probably seen him in commercials. He's really amazing. Like, seriously. So Zach King won the grand prize and Logan Paul got second, according to the video. This is very important. Lorray was going to win. However, during the game, he apparently fell asleep and missed the rule change, thus getting him disqualified. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but as the game kept going, MrBeast would shrink the playing field, and eventually contestants would only hide on one floor, because when it came to the football stadium, they could have hid anywhere. And to speed up the process of the game ending, he would eliminate a floor. So if you were on the third floor, he would give you a time limit to move down to a different level. And if you didn't move down to a different level in that time, you were disqualified and eliminated. So that's basically what happened to Lorray. He fell asleep on the second level, and when he said everybody has to go to the first, he never went to the first in the allotted time frame, thus making him get disqualified. So going back to Trisha's podcast, I did find some clips I did find rather interesting. So remember how I said Zach King won? Well, apparently he broke a rule in the contract that would have disqualified him, apparently.
Yeah, pretty much. It was so weird. And a little tea about the winner. So Zach King won.
And we love Zach.
And I love Zach.
We love
Full
him.
disclosure.
You love all the people
I
on the
love
show,
him.
yeah.
And he's got the cutest little babies. And I have a soft spot. But we signed a contract with like the stadium and YouTube saying that if you're going to hide and seek, you had to hide in places that were like safe and like plain sight
Easily
places.
accessible.
They said, for example, like in the lounge, they have couches, you know, like you can't take a knife and cut open the couch and climb in there.
Yeah.
Like that one episode of Sunny in Philadelphia with Danny DeVito
Yes.
when he's like hiding in the couch. Like,
And they even gave an example on the document. I remember it so clear that
It said-
on the field, there's like a 2-foot tall fence to separate the field and where the coaches or whatever would be. And they were literally like, don't even jump over this 2-foot tall fence. You have to walk around
Yeah.
it for safe. Like, and I remember that so clearly. It's just calling out this little fence that like wouldn't keep a chihuahua in.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
and they're like, don't. So the rules were very like,
In
be
place.
safe. Don't do anything weird. Don't
Yeah.
damage the property.
they said, don't go into the air ventilation, like don't go in the ceiling. And so I didn't, you know, I'm going to follow the rules because this is a game. So
Yeah,
it's not
for
fun.
fun.
It's not fun if people are cheating.
Yeah.
And so Zach King, his final spot was in the ceilings. He went
Where they said not to go.
where
the
they said not to go, and
ventilator.
it did a ton of damage. And there was ceiling droppings all over the floor from where he had climbed around. And Matt Pat was literally like, I think he's got to be here because look at all this damage. And I did see 2 maintenance workers working in one of the lounges. So I said, you know what? I did see some maintenance guys. Maybe they're working on the ceiling.
Oh.
And he was like, I just don't think so. And Matt was right. I mean, Zach
was up
had
there.
gone in the ceiling. So technically that was cheating in our
Right.
contract. But
And I actually found the clip, and as you can see, he does climb in an area that shouldn't have been allowed. Even though it looks cozy up there, roofing can be unstable at times, and at any point it could have gave out. And apparently there was also a lot of wiring up there that, of course, the people in the stadium did not want the YouTubers to touch because it is extremely dangerous, and it can lead to a lot of bad things. So it does make sense that this would be considered a no-go zone. After Trisha's podcast was uploaded, Rosanna then posted a summary of her experience and why she was upset. And the tweet reads as follows, saying, I have been allowing others to treat me poorly in private for many years, and I'm fed up. I am going to start standing up for myself and finding my voice. And this leads to her statement that she, I think, also posted on Instagram saying the following: MrBeast lied and edited me out of the top 3 in Creator Games 3. I had participated in Creator Games 1 and 2 and was excited to be part of YouTube's Creator Games 3, Hide and Seek at SoFi Stadium. After filming had wrapped, I truly couldn't believe how well I did at the competition and was proud of what I had achieved. I had placed 3rd. When the video was released, I was shocked, disappointed, and felt hurt MrBeast, Jimmy, had edited the video to make me look like I performed worse than I did. This was extra upsetting because I genuinely believed him when he said his videos were, quote, authentic and real, unquote. He edited the video to look like the final 3 people were Lorray, Logan Paul, and Zach King. The final 3 people were actually Zach, Quackity, and myself. For the entire duration of filming, we all wore earpieces connected to walkie-talkies. They would announce in our ears when someone had been found, and when we had to move hiding spots. And in parentheses, it says, if we didn't move, you were immediately disqualified, thus leading to why Lorray was disqualified. While I was hiding, they announced that they found Logan Paul. I couldn't believe I outlasted him. He's a fierce competitor. It was getting really late. We filmed for over 24 hours straight, which I've already talked about. And they eventually offered me money to come out of hiding and quit. I declined. I had been counting the eliminations, and I was currently in 4th place with Lorray, Quackity, Zach, and myself still in the remaining. Jimmy asked us to move hiding spots again to the side of the stadium with the mannequins. It was at this time that I was found in transition, moving to my next hiding spot. When Jimmy found me, he brought me to the field where the others had also been found. I thought I had placed fourth. However, Lorray had fallen asleep and hadn't moved in a long time, so he was disqualified. This meant I got third place. When I arrived at the field, I saw Matt, Pat, and Logan there because they were seekers now. Jimmy said that he was going to look for Zach and asked if anyone wanted to go with him. I offered to help, but then he said he wanted to take Logan instead. So I hung back and started looking for Zach in a different direction with Matt Pat. I placed third, Quackity placed second, and Zach placed first. This is actually what happened. Despite Jimmy editing out the only female in the top 3, I was proud of what I had achieved. I followed the rules of the game, gave it my all, had fun, and never gave up. They can't take that away from me. This definitely led to a lot of love and support for Rosanna, and people questioning the validity of MrBeast's videos in general. It feels like all the people calling Mr. Fake before this felt validated in their criticism, and it led to a back and forth between MrBeast fans and everyone else calling him out. So Rosanna posts again, this time thanking people for the love and support, and it reads as follows. Thank you for making me feel not alone. This has been an overwhelming and a lot to process today. I was scared to tell my story for a long time because of how much hate others have gotten in the past for speaking up about their own experiences. In the hours since my posting my story, I have received at least 3 other messages from female creators who've had similar experiences with MrBeast and those around him. That will be their story to tell if they choose to, but it is making me realize that I am not as alone as I once thought I was. Also, unbeknownst to me, Quackity also told the same story previously on a live stream. He was also confused why they edited him out of the top 3. Thank you for the immense support. Words cannot describe how empowering and healing the last 24 hours have been. And like, her claims weren't an isolated incident. Apparently a year ago, Quackity talked about his experience during the hide and seek game, thus kind of validating Rosanna's story even more. And she didn't even know about this until somebody pointed it out to her. She even posted a video where she talked about her experience after losing in the game, seemingly happy for the experience, thinking she got 4th place at the time. This has already led to countless creators making videos reacting to the situation. Honestly, seeing how divided people are on this topic and seeing how I'm not really a fan or hater of either creator, I definitely want to look from the outside in. And I actually do have the clip from the MrBeast video of Rosanna getting caught during the game.
Dude, they gotta be moving. Wait, who's that? Wait, who's that? Wait, play the camera! Who is that? Oh no! Bros, you're not fooling anyone with those big pants.
And from that point on, of course, she really wasn't in the video that much. And even before then, from what I saw, she really didn't have that many clips to note. And I think she only spoke like 3 sentences overall. And just kind of playing devil's advocate here, the video was only 12 minutes and like 20 plus hours of footage. Again, it's an editing choice, but it is a little bit deceptive in my opinion that you presented the top 3 one way, but in reality was another. I did see a lot of comments about how it's because, you know, Rosanna's boring and she kind of wasn't as exciting as, you know, Logan Paul. Like, I think he was hiding in a freezer versus like Rosanna hiding like under, I think it was like a metal detector or something. So when it comes to like that, like what's more exciting to see on camera, like somebody hiding under something or like somebody hiding in a freezer, like freezing their like butt off, you know? I think that's what was kind of like proposed as like what's more exciting to see in a video. But that's just kind of what it feels like it came off as. So I kind of thought that was like the end of it, and that's kind of where my video was going to end, where I was going to react to just that, and that was going to be it. But then she posted another tweet saying she was going to go on the H3 After Dark podcast and answer kind of like all the questions that people had about this situation. So I kind of figured, why not listen to her portion of this podcast and just kind of take notes and see if she did answer these questions. And I also had my personal questions about all this, you know? So the first major question she answered was why she waited so long. And she said that everybody like on the, during the filming signed an NDA. For those that do not know what an NDA is, that is a non-disclosure agreement, which is pretty much what movies actors sign, any like video game designers sign, basically so they don't reveal details about something before it's out. I've never really seen an NDA be used after a production is over to kind of not be allowed to talk about a situation, but I've never signed, actually that's not true. I have signed, I think like 1 or 2 NDAs in my life, but a lot of NDAs, from what people have like told me about, they do expire after a time. Like there aren't really NDAs that like last forever. That's kind of what an NDA is. When I think Ethan from H3 asked if she violated the NDA, and Rosanna was just kind of like, we'll see, basically saying like she's not sure that she broke the NDA. I'm kind of confused about that. That's kind of like it. If you broke an NDA, then I don't know. But seeing how MrBeast reacted in the DMs, and we're gonna get to the DMs later, he didn't call that out. And if she did break an NDA, I feel like he wouldn't have reached out to her. But that's just my personal opinion. So as they're going over Rosanna's statement again, they did bring up Zach King cheating once again. And my question was kind of like, were the rules explained again before they started? Because in the MrBeast video, he just kind of just said go, and the creators kind of went out of their way to hide. I could be wrong. Maybe I missed it, but I don't think in the video itself they mentioned these rules about how you can't hide in the roofing area and stuff. But like, again, I totally could have missed it. From how Rosanna is presenting it, she did seem a bit upset that Quackity was allegedly robbed of winning, because if Zach King broke the rules as the contract states, and the timeline of events is accurate as she's telling it, then Quackity should have actually been the winner of the $1 million to give back to his community. Honestly, thinking about that aspect, I just think it's kind of cruddy that a seemingly big rule was broken, but the win was awarded anyway. So it's not like, so it's kind of like, do the rules matter or do they not matter? She then claims that during the filming, it felt like a boys club type of vibe, and the simplest definition I can give of what a boys club kind of is kind of like boys are going to be boys kind of mentality, like no girls allowed. Apparently, and she said in her statement, like she helped to find a contestant, and MrBeast kind of like waved her off and just kind of downplayed it and wanted to go with somebody else, and it just so happened to be a guy. Then the next claim Rosanna makes is after she posted her statement, 3 other women creators, like I mentioned earlier, reached out to her and then said they had a similar experience as her. I'm kind of curious, honestly, who these other 3 creators are. Personally, again, Rosanna is correct when she said that is their story to tell, but I am very curious. I'm trying to think about all these MrBeast challenges with YouTubers that have been done, but I really can't think of anybody right now. I can't even like make an educated guess. So if they speak up, then I guess that's when we'll see. And then another big question that was brought up was like, why didn't Rosanna do this privately? And her response was like, the video was public and nobody even like reached out to her about the video before it was posted, and kind of like gave her the heads up that, you know, that she wasn't entertaining enough, so she got cut. I will say, when it comes to that aspect, I think a lot of performers and entertainers will say the same thing. Like, they definitely understand that, you know, cuts do happen, and things like that. But like, when you're not told that you're getting cut, or like you're expecting that you're gonna be a bigger role in a video or a project, and then you just kind of get blindsided, and like the overall consensus was you're not entertaining enough, I can see why she was hurt. I can see why it bothered her, because it just doesn't make you feel good. And I guess what it boils down to, what it seems like this whole thing, and this isn't just the thing, but it seems like this whole thing kind of stems from, like, she feels like she wasn't good enough for the video, which again goes back to the kind of boys club mentality, because all the 3 finalists presented were guys. And people are saying, well, Quackity got cut too, so it's not that you were a woman, it was just, you were probably just too boring. And again, I mean, both things can be true at the same time. I just think that's a weird editing choice, for real. I just think that's like, I don't know. Maybe MrBeast wasn't expecting anybody to like speak out about this, but just kind of, you know, why not just keep the video true to itself? Like, make the top 3 what the top 3 were, I guess. Hey, that's an editing choice. That's a MrBeast choice. We're not in the planning room to see what he thinks. We're not in his head to see how he sees scenes, or like what the story of his video he wanted it to be. But again, I just think that was a bad editing choice, personally. And then the question did come up that if, you know, was it maybe a editing mistake? But then she referenced how in the end of the video, MrBeast did do a voiceover talking about how Logan Paul was just found before Zach King, but in reality, Logan Paul was found way before, even before Rosanna was found. Again, I just think if the timeline is true, it's just kind of like a weird lie to portray for your audience, especially if the prize was for like a good cause anyway. I just think that's weird. And then she then brings up how MrBeast did reach out to her, but when it came to answering the questions, she said he really pushed for a phone call, so anything wasn't said in writing, which apparently in the entertainment world, that's like a staple thing to do, so you don't get caught up in any legalities or any scandals. That's kind of, it makes sense now that I'm like reading it out loud, that some people in business, some people in entertainment would like to just call, because in writing you can, you know, take it to court, you can do anything with it. Not saying that Rosanna was going to sue MrBeast or anything. I wasn't saying that, but I'm saying, like, as an example, I can see like why she wanted it in writing, so like MrBeast didn't twist her words. But I also see MrBeast's side, where he's like, nope, I'm not getting caught up, I would just rather call you. So I can see both sides of this. Then on the podcast, they talk about the DMs that Rosanna and MrBeast exchange, and that's kind of like the end of her segment on the podcast. So I actually do have the DMs, because Rosanna posted it to Twitter, and they read as follows. And we have the tweet here from Rosanna saying, If he can say it to me on the phone, he can say it to me in writing. When I asked him to send over the raw footage to review the timeline, he went radio silent. MrBeast kept pressing me to get on the phone and refused to answer any of my questions in writing. And then she posted 4 screenshots, and it's a short exchange, and it reads as the following. It says from MrBeast, who apparently reached out first, saying, "What's your phone number? I'd love to call and see where we can figure out what happened." And then she says, "Hi, Jimmy. My intention of speaking up is not going to be malicious or create drama. I was really hurt by the editing decisions you made. Edited me out of the top 3. Hold on, guys. Editing me out of the top 3 and making me look like I performed worse than I did. Felt awful. Quackity was also edited out of the top 3, and he also talked about it. I have stayed silent for so long, and it's causing me mental stress and anguish. It's not mentally healthy for me to have someone else make me look worse than I am to millions of people." And this video did get 89 million views as of the time of me recording. I think it was 89 million, I think. And then she concludes with, "I would never do that to a fellow creator." And MrBeast responds saying, "Obviously, I wasn't trying to make you look bad. Just give me a time we can chat. I'm not mad or anything, just want to help." And then I kind of laughed at this when I read this, by the way. She said, "Why did you lie? Why did you say in the video that you found Logan literally 1 minute before Zach? I outlasted Logan and was proud of it. I'm proud of what I accomplished. It actually built some confidence in myself that wasn't there before." And then he responds, "I don't know, been a while. Let's call and figure it out." I don't mean to laugh, but I'm just like, what was that response? You know, that response was kind of crazy. Just kind of like, I don't know, been a while. I'll give you some time to look into it and remember, and then we can discuss. I am more than happy to review all the raw footage to help show the timeline of events. Feel free to send it over to my team, let me know. And that was kind of the end of that conversation. Rosanna posted another tweet after she leaked the DMs, and basically she was like, when I asked for raw footage, MrBeast went radio silent. And that's kind of the end of my notes, and we have reached a point where I'm just gonna kind of ramble on a little bit, because I guess my question that I feel like wasn't answered in all this is, like, what is the real end goal here? I guess not trying to invalidate Rosanna or anything, but I was just kind of confused about, like, you know, how do I say it? Like, did you just want more screen time? Did you, or is she saying that, like, she thinks she could have won, and, like, if the rules were broken, because it's kind of like a butterfly effect in a sense. So, like, is she saying that, you know, she really felt like she had a chance of winning? Is she upset for Quackity? Or is that a front? I guess I'm just kind of, I guess I'm still a little confused about, you know, where this is gonna go. I don't think MrBeast is going to, I don't think he's going to. It just feels like he definitely wants to handle this offline, even though clearly Rosanna feels like because the video was public, it should be handled publicly. I'm just kind of trying to read in between the lines here and just kind of creating my own opinion. So, like, please don't quote me as, like, this being fact, but it just feels like, you know, Rosanna was kind of upset because maybe she really should, how do I say it? The way her timeline of events is, she should have been top 3. She should have had more, you know, footage in the video. I do think it's a little bit rude of MrBeast and his editing team to kind of fixate this kind of exciting story of these men being top 3 when in reality the timeline was not like that. I don't think this like puts in validity of all the MrBeast videos. I did make a Twitter thread about this, about how this could lead to a butterfly effect of like questioning his videos and his motives. I have criticized MrBeast in the past, I'm not gonna lie. It was mainly the Squid Games video, and I just kind of felt like Squid Games, the message from the show, like it felt like people were just kind of knocking it off and just making Squid Games a trend. I just didn't like how that was, and I definitely criticized MrBeast about it. So I'm not gonna lie and say like, you know, I've never criticized the man before. But when it comes to this, it feels very touchy. But in my personal opinion, I guess maybe for future, maybe just don't create this like false narrative, because if you work with a content creator again, or content creators again, sorry, who knows? Rosanna said that 3 other women have spoken to her about the, I guess, misogynistic attitude that MrBeast and his team has. Again, I guess we're gonna have to wait to see if these three creators speak out about their experience. But for now, that's really kind of all I got. I just thought this was something different to talk about. As this video is being posted, I am working all weekend, so I will not see you until next week. So I kind of wanted to do a video in the middle of the night. It's like, what, 3 a.m. right now? And I work at 11. So I just wanted to leave you guys with something long form, because, you know, that's kind of like what I like to do. So yeah, Rosanna Pansino called out MrBeast, and that is the video. Once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. If you made it this far, if you made it to the end, thank you. If you liked this video, leave a thumbs up. You can share this video with your friends, tell all your homies to subscribe. And honestly, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, gays, days, whatever you want to call yourself, I love you all. I wish you well, I wish you good health, and I will see you again next time.